set. So, our two teams are competing in the first toss-up game called Captivate. Where they're competing for 10 bonus points and control the game by either the red team or the blue team. Oh, let's see. Let's cheer them on, folks. We got our own empire here. We've got 2 down for the red team and 4 down for the blue right now. And they win.
I'll be your host for today's challenge. Can you believe it's been over 25 years since Double Dare first aired on Nickelodeon? Now, Double Dare's never really gone off the air or out of the hearts of our viewers. Many of our first kid contestants are now parents with kids of their own, and I'm sure that there are some early Double Dare fans in our audience today. Well, with that said, it's time for Nickelodeon's messiest game show, Double Dare Live. Let's welcome our teams. Alright, to my right we have our red team who would like to name themselves the Crazy Rangers. Let's introduce ourselves, red team.
Brio. Janae. Julian.
Julio.
Alright, and Julian, you were telling me backstage that you like to play a sport. Would you mind sharing with the audience what that sport is?
I like to play baseball.
That's great, and what position do you play in baseball?
Pitcher.
The pitcher, alright guys, let's give him a hand. And over to my left, we have the blue team who would like to call themselves Super Jazz. Alright, let's introduce ourselves, blue team.
Ruru. Mohammed. Steven.
Rachel. Alright, let's give him a hand. Now, Mohammed, you were telling me backstage that there is a particular, really awesome hobby that you like to do. Would you like to share that with everybody?
In Taekwondo, I was in blue belt.
He's a blue belt in Taekwondo. Let's give him a hand, folks. Alright. Yeah, just like the team color, alright. Okay, on to round 1 of Double Dare. I'm going to ask you a trivia question, and if you don't know the answer to that question, or think the other team doesn't have a clue, you can dare them to answer it for double the points. But be careful because they can always double dare you back for 4 times the amount. Then you either have to answer that question, or take the physical challenge. Now, blue team, members of the audience won the toss-up game Captivate for you, and 10 points at the beginning of the game. So here we go. Alright, we're going to start round 1 with you, and I'd like to remind the members of the audience that these questions are intended for our contestants on stage, so please don't help them out by shouting out the answers. Alright, blue team, here is your first question. On April 15, 1912, the Titanic sank into which ocean? Alright, you're going to need an answer, but if you don't know, you can always dare the other team. Dare? Okay, red team. They're going to dare you. Would you like to double dare back, or are you going to venture a guess? They're talking about it. Looks like a tough choice. What do we got?
Atlantic.
That is correct. It is the Atlantic Ocean. Great job, guys. Well, red team, here's your next question. Jessica Tandy was 81 years old when she won the Oscar for driving Miss Daisy. What side of the road do they drive on in Canada? Alright, if you don't know the answer, you can always dare the other team. What are we going to do?
Dare.
They're going to dare the blue team. Alright, blue team, what side of the road do they drive on in Canada? Country right above ours.
Right.
That is correct. It is the right time. Point and control. Now hand it over onto the blue team. It is now time for a video flashback question. In a video flashback question, you're going to be asked a vintage video trivia question by none other than Mark Summers himself. Now, I'd like to remind you guys that you're not allowed to dare or double dare the other team. This question is exclusively for you. So take it away, Mark.
After passing go in a game of American Monopoly, what's the first property you can land on?
All right, blue team. Again, that question is, after passing go in a game of American Monopoly, what's the first property you can land on? Now, you can't dare or double dare, so you're just gonna have to venture a guess. If you get it wrong, points and control will go over to the red team. We're gonna need an answer, blue team. Here we go.
Baltic.
I'm sorry, one more time.
Baltic.
I'm sorry, the answer is Mediterranean Ave. Therefore, points and control now fall onto the red team. All right, red team, here is your question. The Bill of Rights consists of the first 10 amendments to the United States Constitution. How many amendments are there total? I'm sorry, the correct answer is 27 amendments. All right, blue team, here is your question. What CNBC anchor is known as the Money Honey? Now, if you don't know, you can always dare the other team.
We
CNBC.
choose dare.
All right, they're gonna dare. Red team, would you care to venture a guess? You're gonna double dare the blue team. CNBC anchor.
Double dare.
They're gonna double dare. All right, blue team, are you gonna try to answer or are you gonna take the physical challenge? All right, blue team, we're gonna need an answer.
We choose physical challenge.
All right, they're gonna take the physical challenge. Now, the correct answer was Maria Bartiromo is known as the Money Honey. All right, blue team, here is the first physical challenge of our game. We are headed out to the ballpark for a famous American classic. No, not baseball, the ballpark Frank. So, members of Team Nick here are setting up our adult contestant, and she is going to be our human hot dog in this game. All right, guys, go over to those buckets right there. Now, ma'am, do you happen to be a fan of baseball? Do you like baseball?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite sports team?
Sox. White Sox.
All right, do you know that famous song, Take Me Out to the Ball Game? Well, why don't you lead our audience in a rendition of that? I'll start you off. Take me out to the ball game.
Take me out to the crowd. Buy some presents and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's true. Root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. But it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out of the old ball game.
What's the name for that one? All right, and while our human hot dog is very beautiful, she is looking a little plain. So her teammates here are going to dress her with the appropriate condiments. They have a tomato, an onion, and a pickle. They're gonna toss these condiments to our human hot dog, and she must catch one of each of these items. Once she has caught one of each of them, we're going to douse her in the very last condiment, the mustard. Do all of this within 30 seconds, and you complete the challenge and win the points. Can I have 30 seconds on the clock, please? All right, on your mark, get set, go! Now our teams are tossing our condiments to our hot dog. She's got a pickle. All she needs now is an onion and a tomato. Go ahead, toss those balloons to her. Oh, you gotta keep it in your hand then. Oh. There you go, you got an onion. You gotta keep it with you. Oh, you got a tomato. Now leave her. Now she's got the pickle, and now we got the mustard. That's okay, don't worry about it. It's not even time, folks. It's an All right, congratulations, blue team. You were able to complete that within 30 seconds. Therefore, all of the points will go to you. All right, recapping our scores, we have the blue team with 70 and the red team with 30. All right, blue team. unfortunately we can't ask that next question because that sound indicates the end of round 1. So like I was saying, let's recap our scores. One final time, 70 for the blue and 30 for the red. But don't worry, red team, because we're about to start round 2. And in round 2, anything can happen. Point values are doubled, and as a reminder, physical challenges will always help you earn extra points. Now before we start round 2, let's decide who controls it. I'm going to ask you a toss-up question. Members of Team Nick here are going to put some bells on your podiums. If you guys know the answer to that question, be the first to ring in and answer it correctly for control and the points. Alright teams, here is your toss-up question. What type of tree has over 600 varieties and can also be poisonous? I'm sorry, blue team, one more time?
I forgot.
Well, I'm sorry, but the answer is oak. The oak has over 600 varieties and can also be poisonous. Therefore, control and points now go to the red team. Alright, red team, here's your first question. How many inches are in a foot and a half? Come on, now we have to have an answer, or you can either dare the blue team.
18.
That is correct, 18 inches. Alright, red team, here's your next question. New Jersey is known as the Garden State. What's the slogan for the Olive Garden? We're looking for that famous saying that the Olive Garden says in their commercials. If you don't know the answer, you can always dare the blue team. Oh, they're gonna dare the blue team. Alright, blue team, what's that famous slogan that the Olive Garden has? If you don't know, you can always double dare the red team.
Choose double dare.
They are going to double dare. Alright, red team, you either have to take the physical challenge or venture a guess. What are you gonna do, red team?
Physical challenge.
Alright, we're going to take the physical challenge. Now the answer to that question is, their slogan is, when you're here, your family. Alright, red team, now it's time for the second physical challenge of our game. Alright, our second physical challenge is called I Love Juicy, named after that iconic episode in I Love Lucy where Lucy had to stomp grapes to make wine. Now the objective of the game here, our players must stomp all of these grapes within, all of these Nickelodeon grapes, within 30 seconds to complete the challenge. If they do, they get the points. So, can I have 30 seconds on the clock, please? Alright guys, just get right over here into this pool and you gotta stomp all these Nickelodeon grapes. Remember, you have 30 seconds to do so, okay? Now, on your mark, get set, go! All of your Nickelodeon grapes. Can they stomp all of them? Oh, you lost the grape on this side, let me help you out here. Come on guys, now you can do it. Let's cheer them on, folks. Alright, red team. Unfortunately, you were not able to stomp all of your grapes within the allotted time. Therefore, control and points now go over to the blue team. Alright, blue team. Here is your next question. Bon Jovi is from New Jersey. What does bon mean in French? If you don't know the answer, you can always dare the red team.
Hello.
Hello? I'm sorry, the answer is good. Bon means good in French. Alright, red team. That sound indicates it's time for a remote control scramble. We're going to ask you a question from one of 3 shows, your choice. iCarly, Victorious, or Big Time Rush. After you see a scene on this TV screen here, we're going to ask you a question pertaining to that clip. So which show do you choose?
Victorious.
Alright, let's roll the clip from Victorious.
Dad, I got in a fight with 4 idiotic girls. My nose really hurts.
You took on 4 girls?
Yes. Oh, and one of them bit my elbow. I'm probably gonna get Northridge fever. Anyway, thanks for giving me a ride to school.
All right, red team, your question is, who appears in the back of the car? Is it A, the 5 girls she was fighting with before, B, the mechanic who was fixing the car, or C, Andre's grandmother?
Andre's grandmother.
All right, let's see if you're correct.
No problem. Anytime you need a ride, just call.
Andre! I can't find my contact lens!
Grandma, you don't wear contacts.
Then where are my glasses? They're on your face. Was I talking to you? I don't think I will.
Grandma, please just eat your oatmeal.
Okay, Andre!
All right, you are correct, red team, therefore you get the points. Here's your next question. The musical Jersey Boys is about Frankie Valli and the 4 seasons. What are the 4 seasons? Oh, I'm sorry. That sound indicates the end of round 2, and just so you know, they were winter, spring, summer, and fall. Alright guys, so let's recap our final scores. With the red team, we have 90 points, and for the blue team, we have 150 points, meaning the blue team is going on to our famous double dare obstacle course. Alright, red team, we have a special treat just for you guys. It is now time for our famous Nickelodeon whipped cream pies. Alright, audience, I'm gonna need your help. On the count of 3, we're going to shout, "Make the pie fly," and the members of the red team are going to splat themselves in the face with those whipped cream pies. 1, 2, 3, make the pie fly! Alright, look at our audience with those nice whipped cream smiles, folks. Our obstacle course features 8 iconic obstacles from Double Dare. Our first player is set behind obstacle number 1, the doggy door. They must crawl through and search for the flag hidden in a bowl of Nickelodeon dog food. Once they find that flag, they must pass it along to their teammate waiting at obstacle number 2, the gum drop. They must jump into that gumball machine, exit below, and grab the flag to pass it along to the next player, who will run over to obstacle number 3, popcorn box. Once there, they must tip the bucket and find the flag amongst the popcorn, passing it off to their teammate waiting at obstacle number 4, the blue plate specials. Raphael, those nachos are looking a little dry, so let's add some nacho cheese. Alright. Player 4 will have to look through our cheesy nachos to find the flag and pass it along to the next player waiting at obstacle number 5, the bathtub. Rub-a-dub-dub, there's a flag in my tub. Can you find it hidden within the Nickelodeon bubbles? Once you do, hand it over to your teammate at obstacle number 6, pick it. Here, our player is forced to pick the nose to locate the flag, but be careful because I think somebody's got a cold. Once they find that flag, they will hand it off to their teammate under obstacle number 7, the balloon drop. There, they will pull on that rope, causing balloons to come floating down. Our player must break all of the balloons until they locate the hidden flag and pass it off to our final player, who will take it and join your teammate underneath obstacle number 8, the famous Das Blimp. That cord will then be pulled by one of our members of Team Nick, and the slime will flow. Do all of this within 60 seconds, and you will become our Double Dare champions. All right, members of Team Nick, are we ready?
Ready!
All right, can I have 60 seconds on the clock, please? On your mark, get set, go! All right, our first player has gone through that rocky door. They are now switching to that flag. Oh, he's got the flag, and now we are off to the gum drop. Ooh, gum. Oh, we're off to that gum drop with all those gumballs. Can you find the flag? There it is. Pass it along to your teammate. She's gonna head over to the popcorn box. All right, finding that flag in all of the kernels of popcorn. Does she have flag for Ruby? I don't think so. There, she's got the flag, and now we're at the nacho cheese station at the Blue Plate Special. Let's find that flag. We've got less than 30 seconds. Look through that tunnel to find the flag. Tuck in your shirt. Yep, you got it. All right, there we go. Find the flag in those bubbles. Pass it along to the next teammate and pick it. Can you see through that tunnel? All right, you gotta pick that nose and find the flag. All right, can you find the flag in time? We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Game over! Let's give them a round of applause, folks. All right, unfortunately, you guys were not able to complete the obstacle course within 60 seconds. But this is Nickelodeon, and Das Blimp is filled with slime. So audience, do we want that slime to go to waste? No! All All right, they've spoken. All right, audience, help me count back from 10. And when we hit 1, Jesse's gonna pull that rope there, and they are going to be slimed. All right, audience, help me count back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slime! All right. So have you ever done this messy before?
No.
No? What was your favorite obstacle?
My favorite obstacle is the nose.
The nose. Well, there you have it, folks. Another exciting game of Double Dare Live here at the Nickelodeon Suites Resort. How about a round of applause? Thanks, guys. And a special thank you to our warm-up host, Ben, and all the members of Team Nick. Well, from all of us here at the Nickelodeon Suites Resort, have a great night and keep watching the first network for kids, Nickelodeon. We double dare you!